A trip to Rio. Julia thought Brazil would feel just like home, but she was wrong. Rio de Janeiro was nothing like New York City. There actually seemed to be more people here. Julia's family squeezed through the crowd, inching towards Maracanã Stadium. It's because of the Olympics, Gabriela said. It was much quieter during your last visit. Don't you remember? We were only 5, Julia said. The family finally got inside the stadium and located their seats all around her. Julia heard different languages, Chinese, Spanish, and Russian. Julia and Gabriela's parents spoke Portuguese so rapidly that she couldn't understand. She felt nervous and alone. With a sudden rush of music, the opening ceremonies for the Olympic Games began. A Brazilian pop singer appeared and Gabriela screamed with joy. Julia wanted to be excited too, but their seats were so far away that they couldn't hardly see the performers. Cameras flashed from all sides. People screamed and blew horns. By the time the fireworks started, Julia had a headache. Julia had been waiting for this trip to Rio for months. It was a rare chance to see her cousins and other family members. Now, all she wanted to do was return home. The next morning began quietly. Julia's family was staying in Gabriela's building in the apartment next door. The owners had left Rio to avoid the Olympic Games. Julia understood why from her high windows. She watched traffic fill the highway. Suddenly, Gabriela burst into the apartment, followed by Chad, her little brother. We are going to another Olympic event today, she said. She thought of going to another crowded and noisy place. Made Julia's head hurt again, but she smiled and got ready. The families walked beneath green trees, through the shady streets to Gabriela's Flamingo neighborhood. The block ended at a park. Gabriela grabbed Julia's hand and dashed through an opening in the trees. They came out on a broad golden beach. Julia stopped and stared at the tall white buildings that lined the water. Steep home-shaped mountains rose behind them. She didn't know a city could look so wild and beautiful. The Sugar Loaf Mountain, Gabriela said. The beach was full but relaxed. They found a spot to unpack a picnic. The white sails of an Olympic boat danced across the blue bay. Watching them, Julia realized her headache was gone. The next day, it was Julia who ran into Gabriela's apartment. We are going up Sugarloaf Mountain. They rode a cable car that hung inside above the city. Gabriela closed her eyes and squeezed Julia tight, but Julia stared calmly out of the window. The mountain was a great gray stone tower. The forest behind it was lime green, and the base shone turquoise blue. The city was white and peach and pink. They went to a big market. It had the sweetest, juiciest mangoes Julie ever tasted. This is what they are supposed to be like, her father said in Portuguese. He often spoke English in Julia in New York, but here speaking Portuguese felt natural. they went to the Olympic pool to watch a swimming race. The loud, echoing waltz made Julia flinch, but the crowd was small. Chad kept shouting, "Go Brazil, go Brazil." "Brazil is not in this event," Gabriela finally said. "Oh," he said, then grinned at Julia. "Go America," Julia laughed. On the last day in Rio, Gabriela announced, "We are going to Grandma and Grandpa's to eat feijoada. Then we will go to an Olympic football game." Julia felt a cold rush. Rio had been so fun except for that first night. She did not want to go back to Maracana Stadium. Grandma and Grandpa lived on a steep hill in the neighborhood of Santa Teresa. When Grandpa opened the door, everything was suddenly similar. Julia remembered visiting this house when she was 5. Grandpa taught her to samba by letting her stand on his feet. They had laughed and laughed. The family sat down to Grandma's spicy, meaty feijoada. Julia sat between Gabriela and Grandpa. "How do you like Rio?" Grandma asked. "It's beautiful, and I've had a wonderful time, but..." Julia paused, and Grandpa leaned close. "The opening ceremonies were too much. It was such a big crowd, so loud. I hear football games can be rowdy too. I am scared." "Don't worry, my Julia," Grandpa said. "At football games, Brazilians are one big family." Julia scourged Gabriela's and Grandpa's hands. As they entered the stadium, the crowd seemed even louder than before. When Brazil took a shot, everyone gasped. When the referee blew the whistle, everyone yelled. When Brazil went up of the field, everyone cheered. The crowd's feelings swept over Julia like a warm wave. Caught up in the moment, she lifted her arms and cheered too. It was exciting. It was wonderful. Then Brazil scored a goal. Julia had never heard so many people shout at once. She would never forget the roaring sound. Grandpa lifted Julia in the air together with the crowd. They joined in a traditional football chant. "Eu sou brasileiro. I am Brazilian."